Good afternoon. This is Bill. I'm single retired guy on YouTube. Got a little recent experience and changes and it precipitates this topic. Retire. How, when, and can I retire now? I guess if you want to do this, and I know a lot of people are, they can be before the age of retirement or after. There's a lot of things that would actually dictate when an individual would want to retire. I don't think there's an answer for anybody that, oh yeah, you got to retire early. Well, it depends on a whole lot of stuff. I think where you want to start maybe, and I have some good points to make today that I hope is good timeless information. Right now it's 7 degrees outside, wind chill 16 below. We're in January. I got my coat on. I'm not running high heat. I'm a single retired guy. So we're going to roll with it with my coat on. As you may know, I do unedited stuff, so I'm going to kind of make my mistakes along the way, but I think uninterrupted is better. If you just kind of roll with it a little bit, I hope you make it to the end. I think I have some things that should be maybe valuable to you or maybe help you decide when you want to retire. I have no solid liabilities here in that I'm just speaking from my experience. I think if you take this information and collect information from other people and other sources, then you'll make the right decision for you. But hopefully this will help contribute. I think one of the first things you do is maybe define retirement. What does it mean for you? Kind of a what now? Everybody looks at retiring like, hey, I want to quit my job. That's great. However, what are you going to do afterwards? The one thing I will point out that you will probably find out is it's going to get really pretty quiet. Now, if you have a spouse, I'm a single retired guy. But if you have a spouse, then you've got some noise going on in the house and things are, active. You might have grandchildren. I've got one of my friends and all he does is take care of grandkids and he loves it and that's his retirement. So I think those kind of things, are different for different strokes. But just be aware that if you do live alone or maybe even just live with a spouse, that there's possibility that things are going to get pretty darn quiet. I would say that productivity of some kind, it's healthy mentally, physically, it's self-rewarding. I've got things going on in my mind all the time and I'm trying to reach out and do stuff and I'm almost 70. So, I think it's really pretty healthy. I get pretty excited about things. Doing this YouTube, I got all excited about it. I've been sitting there staring at, the wrong things, people fighting each other and this and that and the other, and I just kind of get tired of it. So YouTube videos, now that's a way to make money. I'm telling you, it may not be for you, or maybe it is. I'm doing this unedited. I'm not very handsome, honestly. I mean, there's some good looking people out there, and I think I'd start with that, but I don't have a choice. So some of the factors that you may want to be thinking about, and yes, I have notes here, is health. How's your health? This can move it up. I think if your health starts going down, retirement should be at the top of the list to try to enjoy life, to try to do as much as you can with what you got left. Really, and this is another bullet point, but all you have is time. That's all we got. People say retire early. Well, I know people that retired at, couldn't make it to retirement. They're about ready to retire and they pass away. Or in my particular case, I'm single because my wife did pass away. So There's life events that'll make that happen too, but time is all you have. You want to try to be able to enjoy that time, and health relates to that because you want to try to do it when you're still kind of healthy to be able to do it, and you're not there with COPD and an oxygen machine, or you know what I mean. I mean, it's life. You continue to do what you do, but you want to try to beat that as much as you can. If you're already at that point, try to move up on this schedule because it can definitely, shorten the amount of time you got. And that's what retirement's all about, trying to take the end of your life and enjoy those years and time. Money. How in the heck do I make it work? There's something about money. People always want to make more money because they got to pay the bills. Well, there's a flow. You got what's coming in and you got what's coming out. So this type of thing is something that can be adjusted on both ends. Obviously, you're not going to be buying new cars. You're going to try to kind of at least do a minimal amount of maintenance on the vehicles you got so you don't have any problem. Your residence, in most cases, I don't think it's a bad idea to consider selling the residence as a part of the plan. What I'm finding out is that the amount of money that I'm spending between taxes and insurance, utilities, and I haven't even got to the house payment yet. It stacks up pretty good. I mean, you got to get Wi-Fi on you there. You got to get, all the stuff that goes with it. So really, to support a house, it takes a chunk of change. Now, Social Security, what is it going to yield? $1,000 a month, $800 a month, $1,500 a month, or maybe $2,200 a month if you're sitting pretty good. It's not a lot of money. I got a 1.4% increase or 1.2% increase on my Social Security this year after I see everybody else, my dang insurance, Medicare, got a 10% increase. So, there's nothing there that's going to get any better, I don't think. So money is an issue, but keep in mind that what you got, I'm going to give you my example. I did, fortunately, buy the house in 2015. I put it on a 15-year loan and got a really good price on the house. So in that case, I only have 5 years left to pay off. So I have some equity. It's not a large amount. It's actually just a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. However, I built up enough equity in there that I can actually sell the house. With what I did, I had a passion for a little cabin. So the last 5 years, I've been working on this little cabin. It don't have any utilities, but it's paid for. It was a little simple project that I could do. And I did it, and I put together a cute little cabin, and you're going to get to see all this as I move forward. But I already own it. It is paid for. The piece of property, I even mentioned to the bank when I bought it, it was a gimme, and it is a hill, I'm telling you. But it's a place that I can sit for not a lot of money. So it's also off-grid. So if you have an off-grid place, or you have a well and a septic tank, this also allows you to not have the water bill and the sewer bill. If you have a little solar system, you can get rid of the electric bill. In my particular case, I'm going from $1,200-$1,500 a month here in this city house. Down there, my taxes are $110 a year. It's off-grid little shack on unimproved acreage, woods. So to me, it's a cabin in the woods. It's a dream place, but when it comes to what it's not worth a lot for taxes. So now you have a place that has no utilities. It's paid for. I'm on prayer insurance. I might get insurance on it someday, but if I get a big wind, I'll fix it. If I get blown flat, I'm going to need to figure something out. But I'm going to try to hang on to the house money, move down there and live on nothing. I'm going to be set. Now, really, I only make, not a whole lot of money with Social Security, just like everybody else. But the way I look at it, I think I'm looking at cell phone, car insurance. I might get Starlink. I like the idea of Starlink. So really, that's about it. I might be missing something here, but really, we're only talking $300 a month. So if you make $1,300 a month, there's an extra $1,000 a month to live on. So see, that's my point. Are you going to do this? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe a little tiny home of some kind, or maybe, people do these shed to house conversions, and if you got a couple $100,000 in equity in your home and you can put together a little place for $100,000 and there's no utilities with it, that's amazing. Even if there is some utilities, you just have to do the math. So to make the money work is something that you can work on. Just remember that it's the outflow side. You kind of can't really be stuck on where you're at. But then again, retirement is a time for change. It's a time to renew life, and I'm going to do that because I'm heading to a cabin in the woods. So I'm not quite retired yet. I'm real close at this stage of the game. The house is up for sale, and then I'm pulling switches and going to make it happen, and I'm going to get to that. Events. A life's event can change things. Focus on those. They're called nuclear events in psychology, I believe. And again, I'm no professional. I'm just sharing with you what I've been able to observe in my nearly 70 years of life. Nuclear event can be like me. I lost my wife in October. So that was a nuclear event. It totally changed things. There's other kind of nuclear events that you can have. Just family situations. Maybe you get fired. Oh, that can happen. That's a nuclear event. I mean, it's earth-shattering. It's rocking. Health. Health is another nuclear event. You want to try to get this done before the health goes down. And then again, pay attention to how you eat. That's a whole nother video. But when it comes to health, really try to focus on not eating a bunch of junk. Most people without a lot of money, they make their own food anyway. They go to the store, they get what they can, they make it, and then they, are able to eat a little better that way. Just follow the guidelines. I do think the government is coming out with a cleaner program for us so that we won't eat as much of the preservatives and food coloring. So I think all of that is good. But when you just get a piece of meat and a piece of bread and, a piece of, get a potato and get a vegetable and put it on a plate, you're going to eat healthier all the way around. So I recommend that from the health standpoint. But, events will be a big issue. So if you have a nuclear event, pay attention to those. If you think one might be coming, pay attention to those. Make a plan. Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? If you want to be a grandparent, if you have a child that can allow you to stay with them, and you can do all the babysitting and taking care of the kiddo, and they don't mind having grandma or grandpa or even grandma and grandpa around, work it out with family. Tell them you want to retire. If you have close family, that's better yet. I think the saddest thing that I see more than anything is people with nobody and nowhere to go, and I find out I'm one of the only friends that call them. There's just people out there that are completely lonely, and, sometimes a major change is for them too. I have a dear friend of mine. He lives alone out in the country. He's got himself a little shop, automotive shop, but he's the loneliest guy I've ever met, yet he likes working. And he's older than me, several years, but he likes working. So is that retirement for him? Well, maybe. Maybe he just wants to keep his shop, keep his job, keep his customers, and keep going. Retirement's a little different. So really start from the beginning. Figure out what you want to do first. Take notes. I write things on legal pads. I have two kinds of pads. I have a little pad for groceries. The reason is I keep tearing sheets off the bottom, little strips off the bottom of my legal pad pages, and then all of a sudden my pages are short and tattered. And so get yourself a small pad for your grocery lists and your little to-do lists and take with you lists, and then make you a big pad. Start writing stuff down. You get 3 or 4 pages full of ideas you have on what you want to do after you leave your job, which is the goal. But you kind of need to know what you're going to do afterwards. Work on that. Then I think once you sit down and write down a few things that you really enjoy about what you want to do, then you're going to get the opportunity to start being able to put it together. Think money, health, time, those nuclear events, you want to beat them, they're coming, you want to head them off. It could even be the economy. If you see the house market is changing and you think, I did want to sell a house, maybe now's the time. Be alert to what's going on around you. Try not to get into any, I say cult-like thinking. Pay attention to yourself. You're the one that matters. What's important for you. I do hope, though, that to kind of wrap this up, I do hope that you have an opportunity for a wonderful retirement. I think you deserve it. I think everybody deserves it, whether Social Security pays for it or you got to do a little something else to make it happen. I know people that are retired that work 2 days a week at a grocery store, and I still do, but that's not retirement for me. I want to finish it. I'm a 2-day-a-week guy, too. It has made for a great partial retirement, but I've got a couple of friends of mine that work just to get out of the house. So, maybe that's an option for you when you add your Social Security in with your couple-day-a-week job. If it works out for you, that's great. If you're just watching kids, stay with the kids, your kids, and you watch the grandkids and you want to be with them all the time. I know somebody that's doing that, and they're having a ball, and you couldn't pull them away from it. So figure out what it is you want to do, and then start putting together a plan, talking to family, talking to people. It's nice as a retired person to hang on to your friends. I'm going to say a dozen because they keep popping up, but these are people I've known for 50 or 60 years. And it just amazes me that all of a sudden, out of the blue, I'll hear somebody saying, "How you doing? You doing okay?" And each friend that you have has a different function. Like, you tell one everything, and then you just kind of, have different relationships with everybody. I have car guys, and I have off-grid guys, and I have, different friends that actually kind of are into different things. But hang on to them friends. They're really important for you, especially through retirement years. When should you retire? Start writing it down, figure it out. You can do it. I have faith in you. I'm going from $1,350 a month in bills to $300 or $400 a month. If you don't have a house, YouTube's an idea. There's different ways. Balance the money coming in, coming out. Try to reduce what's going out, and minimize it down to what you can hang on to. I appreciate you. If you made it to the end, you're awesome. It means a lot. I think if you hang up early, YouTube knows. So I do really appreciate you finishing it out with me. I hope it really was helpful for you. This really wasn't about me. It was more about the things that I have learned in my life, and I hope that maybe they can contribute and help you out too. You have yourself an awesome life. I hope you get to retire soon. Subscribe. That helps me out a bunch too. Maybe we can get this thing going and I can carry on. Thank you very much.